Johnny.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to update on Raji Rab's case, and so I'm just going to show this here. So for those who don't know, Raji Rab has been fighting in court for it's been almost 8 months now, since March, so basically the court has been delaying Raji's case, given frivolous reasons and siding with Dean Logan and Alex Padilla, because they're siding with Dean Logan and Alex Padilla, the Secretary of State, because that's who the lawsuit is against, along with the L.A. Board of Supervisors.
Right.
So Raji had filed his Second Amendment writ, which is basically his lawsuit, right? His complaint, the lawsuit, the writ. And he had to amend it once. He amended it one time because he was legally allowed to do that. But then when they tried to dismiss the case, the judge granted the dismissal with leave to amend. So Raji could amend his case, his lawsuit, to then and file it again, right? So he did that, and that's why it's called the Second Amended Writ. And so then the opposition filed another demur, another trying to dismiss it, and that's where they admitted that the machines are accessible. They're just saying that there's no evidence that Dean Logan accessed it. And so they just admitted that it's accessible before November 3rd, 2020, when they scan the ballots. So it's accessible, which makes the machine illegal according to 15101B, Election Code 15101B. So the opposition filed a demur to Raji's Second Amendment writ, and then the judge immediately, and they asked for a date of January 2021 for a hearing date for the demur. So that's like so far away, right? It's in next year. And the judge approved the date. So Raji's like, what the heck? He wanted it done before the elections, and then now it's after the election. So they filed their demur, and so there's nothing else to wait for. So why do we have to wait until January 2021? So he filed an ex parte or an emergency order. Let me show you what it says for an ex parte. An ex parte order is one that is made without the other party being made aware of it. They often provide instant relief, albeit on a temporary basis. They are issued when immediate relief is needed and when scheduling a regular hearing and providing notice to the other party is not feasible. So basically what Raji is saying is that it's in the public interest. He's saying right here, respondents are delaying the matter to be heard long after general elections are over on January 22nd, 2021, and this is detrimental to public interest. The matter must now be decided because they already submitted their demur, and she has the Second Amendment writ, and they have the opposition has the request for dismissal. So just freaking decide on it now. So today, previously when Raji had filed an ex parte order, the judge immediately responded in 2 business days. So this time it's been taking 5 business days. And so Raji was expecting a hearing today, hearing on the ex parte, to then decide if the demur hearing will happen sooner or in January 2021. So then so he called today, and he called and no one answered. The court's not answering. You can see the live stream of the judge. She's handling other cases, and then when she went on break, Raji's calling. He's calling 4 times. The clerk of that court 23, isn't answering. So then Raji called like the presiding judge's court, and then he was able to get the clerk of that court to answer and call Raji back, and then he notified Raji that the judge will be responding today. So this is just a little update, a little deep into what's going on with Raji's case. Like, it's crazy what's happening. The judge is siding with the opposition. The judge in her previous thing says, this is what Raji says, he's saying the ex parte application is made on the basis of emergency to prevent irreparable harm to the petitioner, the public, and the Constitution. Expedited hearing and decision will stop malconduct from escaping justice, as this case has been in court for the past 7 months on technical delays evading fraud and malconduct, where interpretations of law, issue of national interest, and public interest is at stake. This is petitioner's repeated request to shorten time on the most heated topic of national significance and public interest. Judge Earl stated in her order back in September, which speaks volumes to the safeguard the public interest. She said in an order previously, arguably, however, this case raises issues of substantial and continuing public interest that arises from situations that are capable of repetition, yet evading review. And the court may thus decide this case even if it is technically moot.
There you go.
So even though, you know, what she means by technically moot is that even if the elections have passed.
Yeah, even if the elections are certified and they get somebody in, that they would say, oh, it's moot, but no, it's not, because if it constantly happens in the public's interest, in other words, it continually happens,
in the future.
We should go back. Exactly. And I think that's an interesting point, that even though they might certify the results and somebody might be seated and saying, oh, let's cancel this case because it doesn't mean anything. No, if it constantly happens, we got to go look back at the actual actions that are taking place and fix them for the future. And Johnny, I just also want to point out too that when Johnny was reading about this, as far as what the accessibility thing, we went and witnessed them at the Pomona situation, take the mail-in ballots, send them to Downey. We went over to Downey. We saw them processed through the machine before Election Day.
Johnny, can you just give, because some people may be hearing about this the first time, can you literally just say what he is accusing them of doing?
All right, so Raji was a candidate in March 3rd, 2020 primary, and he thinks he got cheated. And then his reasoning for thinking that is because on the night of, New York Times called his race immediately, and he's like, "How did they get those numbers so quickly?"
There we go.
And then he went over there and he asked them when did they started scanning, because he's like, "How did those numbers get out so quickly?" And that's when an election official there told him they started scanning 10 days prior to the election, to the March 3rd election. And then he's like, "Wait, so these machines are tallying and scanning?" And then someone said yes, and then they changed their mind and they said no.
Yeah, just scanning.
It's just scanning.
There's no count.
There's no tallying or counting. And then it turns out that, yes, this machine scans the ballots, takes the ballot image, decodes voter intent, and then converts it to a cast vote record instantaneously. And I believe the next step is that it puts it in somewhere, and then it can be all decoded and counted immediely.
The state is arguing, or the county is arguing, that they don't press a button to get the numbers results, that it's just stored. But Raji is arguing that once it's casted, it's counted, it's scanned, it's in there. It could be accessed at any point now.
Right.
Through the back end. You can access the computer with a USB, take it, change the results, put another USB back in there and uploaded that. That if early counting is early fraud, it gives you early information. It's like knowing the opponent's playbook that you have beforehand, and that is the argument.
But recently, so Raji, in his Second Amendment raid, he got 2 experts with 20+ years of IT and computer science, and they made the statement that yes, the machines are accessible. And then, like I said earlier, the opposition admitted that it was accessible, but they said now they're saying that they didn't access it, and there's no evidence for them accessing it. Although you could get evidence through Cassandra log files.
But they don't want to give those up.
But they don't want to do it. What's it called? It's an inspection of the whole system.
The whole discovery part, right?
So yeah, it's part. I believe there can be a court order. Like, we show up with the sheriffs and stuff, and we have a court order. But then it's like somebody has to let you inspect it, right?
Call your best friend Villanueva Pasta, and let's see if we can
it doesn't make a difference, because they'll never let you go look at the software. That's the whole thing. When I've talked to Tim Canova, it's like everybody gets this far, but as soon as they get a chance to look at that software, it's proprietary, and they're halted immediately. And they'll even pull tricks like saying, "Oh, the machines are moved. We can't go in there and look." Johnny, was there any evidence that these machines were moved?
No.
I mean, they'll keep moving the goalposts. They'll do this shit all the time. But that's the thing. The quick fix. No more proprietary software, only open source that we can look at so we can see what's going on.
But this is what happens, just so I just want to reiterate this point, emphasize this fucking point. This is happening in California. The Democratic supermajority, the beacon of progressivism, the state that is run by people like Dianne Feinstein, Kamala Harris, who literally just gave a resolution for the Dodgers and the Lakers for winning and bringing back wins in this country, but can't give a fucking stimulus, or can't even talk about how they're helping people that are becoming homeless every day as they're getting evicted now. No, they can't talk about that. This is happening in the bastion of progressivism here in the state of California by these Democrats, by the Democratic establishment. So you can't fucking tell me that the Democrats just wouldn't do that all of a sudden. That the Democrats aren't cheating. They're cheating here in this state, in the 5th largest economy. You're going to tell me that they're not going to cheat in the general? Come on, guys.
And really,
seriously?
to tell you the truth, this affects down ballot candidates. This affects progressives
Absolutely.
trying to take over incumbent seats that are neoliberals that are holding the fort down for the establishment and not letting us in the door. This is where they cheat. And I'm saying, if you okay the cheating against Donald Trump, you're not just okaying the cheating against any progressive, you're giving them a permission slip to do so. You're actually encouraging them to do so. And that's what happened in 2016 when it came to the Jared Beck case. When the Democratic Party said, we can, not only did we cheat, we have the right to cheat, to go in the back room full of cigar smoke and pick whoever we want. We didn't plant the flag there, so what are they doing? They're continuing to cheat even more, and they're moving the goalposts every chance they can get, whether it be now just verifying signatures that can go through at any time, right? And who are they going to cheat against in California? Your Maria Estradas, your Angelica Duenases, your Joe Collinses, anybody like James Bradley, any Republicans and Democrats that have more of a populist mindset that want to remove these incumbents that have been sitting there for so long, running California into the fucking grave right now. That's so awful with the homelessness and businesses closing, and it's ridiculous to live here and stuff, and we're going to have more people on the streets. These incumbents won't get out of the way, and they're using this mechanism, I believe, of cheating their elections to keep their power. Johnny?
Yeah. Oh, I just want to let y'all know to subscribe to True Rebel Network, because I'm releasing some bombshell reports. I've been in the LARCC since November 6th. And I've been reporting I've been documenting my days every time about how not transparent everything is, about suspicious activities happening. So I'm definitely going to be releasing some videos here soon. I'm just trying to get to all the answers before I release videos and make claims. So just subscribe here, and it's going to be coming out. It's going to be coming out.